It's February 5th at 6:30. We're going to start with invocation, followed by pledge of allegiance. Ramsey, if you'd lead us, please.
Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community, and we thank you for all that you do for us. We ask for your guidance to give us clarity as we make decisions tonight, and help us act in the best interest of it. For that we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Move on. Number 4, announcements. Council, do we have any announcements?
I have one.
Okay.
I thought we did a not a real great job last week when Cecilia was sworn in, introducing her to the council and welcoming her. So Cecilia Irvin, thanks for joining the council, and we look forward to working with you. I don't think we gave you a good enough welcome because we kind of jumped right into work. So you were here. You were actually sworn in a couple weeks ago and joined us, but I don't think a lot of the people that attended the meetings or watched them on YouTube heard your full name. So
okay, thank you.
You've been a resident 8 years.
8 years.
8 years. Background in construction and design planning.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
And we look
degree in
forward.
counseling and psychology.
I do think you hold the record for attending most city council meetings without actually being on council. But we do welcome you and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't think we made a motion.
Any other announcements? Anything from the city? Okay. Move on from there. Number 5, citizens input related to agenda items, 3-minute time limit. Haven't received any. No. Okay. We'll move on from there. Number 6, city administration recruitment progress. Just give a quick progress on that real quick. We are in negotiations with a contract, so nothing really to give out yet, but we're working on getting that done. Any questions?
No.
Nothing to vote on there. Move on from there. Number 7, discussion and or action to proceed with new health care benefit for the city staff.
To handle that for us.
Okay, Robert?
Right. I know I think I was here, what you say, meeting before last, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna hand these out. I actually added, Randy and I spoke last night, and I added some dental and vision, AD&D coverages in here, so we can kind of see that as well.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys currently have exactly, so if there needs to be adjustments to the plan design.
That's not complete.
Okay, yeah, that's the other
I'll
one.
view it
Yes,
all.
ma'am.
But I won't see this.
Okay.
And so what I did was I put the same comparison as far as the health plans that were in the last one we had on the first page. Second page is kind of an overview of the dental coverages and the vision coverage, and then also the voluntary group life. I don't know how you like to set up if the city pays. Yeah, and so we would basically go back and make sure we get that exact as far as you can see the rates on everything. So we use principal dental and vision probably in over 70% of our clients, especially in the East Texas area. That'd be great. A couple of the reasons why we like them as a broker is they're easy for us to get in touch with underwriters and claims adjusters or claims department. So if you ever have an issue or things like that, we have direct lines in some of those types of carriers with that. Sometimes if you get into like a big MetLife or something, they're great as well. But it's, service is important to us, so we always look for carriers that we can feel that we can get really good service from our end to make sure to pass on to you guys. So that's why I recommend Principal Dental and Vision. If you want to look at Guardian or any of those other ones, you can. Price wise, they're going to be probably pretty close to the same dollar. Once I see your plan level on your dental plan, you may look up. This one is $1,000 annual maximum. It rolls over if you don't use it. I don't know what y'all's annual maximum So we gotta look at that and make some adjustments there, but I just wanted you to know, just because on this part of it, you know, simply what we would suggest you offer.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you may have said that while I was kind of breezing through here. Is the dental and vision an option or is it part of the package?
You're doing vision right, that, for the company, or for the city,
City is optional. For the current rates, everything is optional and it is paid out of pocket by the
so it's
employee.
voluntary, right?
And then, but it is included in our full package that we have to offer all employees.
And then on the health plan, I've got the carriers ready to roll as far as what we discussed, still on the same sheet. For a 3-1 effective, if that's what the city wants to do. Guys, I've got them, they're ready to rock and roll. So, really, I'm just here to answer any questions you might have about it.
So we're at a 30 days, so 3-1 won't work at this point, but after we move this forward. It sounds like there's still some questions that we're not sure on their vision and dental versus what we have.
Some compared coverages, and
For
I
sure.
don't have them in front of me right now. I just want to make sure that staff is getting the same and or better coverages.
I have a question, Robert. For what we have today, in comparison to what we have today, how much money will you save
On,
for the same coverage?
So he can't
For the
answer
same
it for
coverage
the
that we would,
vision.
is that
Generally,
$50, $600, $60,
Can't
5,000 a
answer it,
month?
but
or full?
the health insurance part, the comparison, I don't even know if I brought it with me, I think it was $400 or $500 a person on the health insurance, something like that, for
Okay.
last meeting.
I got you.
So, yeah, that's set and ready. I just didn't, have any access to getting any kind of like outline of coverage on any of the other stuff. Once we do that, I can match it. I can tell you, and I usually don't, I mean, typically in this situation, it's never like a threat to to put the deal together to find the right deal and that makes sense.
So let me just ask, so let's make this really simple. So if we're gonna save on average $500 an employee by going to a different health plan, since you two are covered by the city's healthcare plan, how do you feel about making the switch in as far as to the coverage that you saw that would change for you? Overall feeling about what we're proposing to do.
And have you gotten any feedback from any of the others?
So after our last meeting, I did get with a minimum of our city hall staff to kind of verify. Of course, they were very nervous, but I told them what network it was, and I told them to feel free to call their doctors or their providers or stuff they use. They didn't see any issues with changing the networks. I didn't see any issues either. There's a great savings I see in that, and that's great. My only concern is rate changes. I mean, going from a pool, I feel is a little bit safer of an option, but there is a huge cost difference. So if we want to look at, pennies and dollars and things.
When you say rate changes, what do you mean?
Well, I worry that this is a great rate now, but next year it could change. Because, they're going to change.
That's a fair question.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would love to answer that for you.
Yeah,
I would love for you to
I'm
answer
just
that.
That's to me, that's your broker's job, is to stay out in front of the market and know where to place your health insurance. I tell people, and whether I'm right, wrong, or indifferent, as far as when I'm looking to go out and acquire new clients, is I'm not here representing carrier A, B, C, or D, whether it be a Blue Cross or United or whoever. I'm here to represent you guys, number one. And so my job is to know the market. So what I do know is with some of these carriers, and I'm kind of nervous like saying anything live. If we were just in a closed door room, I would kind of use carrier names. But imagine some carriers right now are in a position where they're taking a lot of big increases, right? And there's a ton of reasons why, and we can get into going through that. And so those carriers are carriers that a lot of my clients have been with for years. You guys have been with one for years too. And so what the difference is in the pool, where the pool is at right now, that rate in that pool, in my opinion, is not going to come down low enough to make a difference for your $500.
Oh.
It's my job to make sure every single year that we're going to market and looking for y'all the right plans and the plans that are priced comparably to where you're at. Eventually, that ABA plan, in my opinion, in 3 years, will have to move you again. That's just the way it is. Eventually, if you're with Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you're really working your health insurance and you got a broker that's working it for you the right way, you're going to move it again then too. That's just my opinion. Some people are not that way. And I run into clients all the time that are with, like, say, Blue Cross Blue Shield, for example, and they love Blue Cross and they would rather pay the extra $40,000 a year to stay with Blue Cross and go with someone else. I don't understand it. Fair enough. But at the end of the day, it's just making sure, all these plans are going to derive on my service to the city. Our service as a Renew Group to the city. It's all written in black and white on any of them. It's just got to be, it's how we service you guys and how you guys are taken care of throughout the whole process of not even just enrollment, but post-enrollment. If there's claims, if there's problems, good communication, talking to you or talking to whoever we need to get in front of. So, but we're going to shop you every year. Yeah. Get my fears with every client I get every single year. We're having when the rates go up, then I got to make a pivot.
Exactly. I mean, that was the concern amongst everybody. The next concern was, everybody knows where their medications are, and some of the medications that some of our staff members are taking are quite expensive, and they're worried about what that out-of-pocket costs, if any, if it's going to change, or it could go lower. But that's just information they don't know. So trying to navigate those questions is the only questions I've heard.
And it's hard to be able to answer every single one of them.
It is. It really is.
So I don't know if this works. But when I think about the cost savings to the city and that ability, it's just like just the dental and the vision, is there a $3 a month difference or whatever? Is it negligible? Even if it was, there's enough cost savings there for the city to be able to supplement that particular part with an additional, if dental and vision is voluntary and the cost difference is $8 a month, then we pay the $8 a month for the first year, right? Because we're saving $500 a month on an employee, kicking some of that back to where it gets to the employee not having to have it cost them more for something else. Right. Makes sense to me. And I believe that if we, for every month that we wait, we lose that $5,000 or $6,000 that we're paying, and we know we have to wait 30 days. And so I'd really rather not wait until the next meeting for us to make a motion, for us to act on this.
Yeah, I agree.
I know there's the fears. What's the best way for the city as a group to satisfy those fears? Is it to say, as part of our motion or as part of our actions that, we would be willing to pay the difference if there was a cost difference up to a certain dollar amount? We can't jeopardize obviously what we have budgeted. But does that make sense for us to include that, because we could then move forward more quickly, which in turn saves us more money the rest of this year, right? I think at least, and that's provided, I don't know that everybody else is going to vote either, right? So, from my perspective, I think that's an opportunity for us to move quickly on the work that we've already done and waited on now. We're 6 weeks into 2026, and it would be nice to be able to move this forward in my mind. So,
I mean, there's a huge cost savings, and I think that is something really should be in the front of the conversation, is where we save, and then afterwards figure out how to help benefit. Coverages are they're great. They look great here. I don't have any concerns other than that. Dental and vision, I just want to make sure it's included, because once we exit, then those options are gone. They are relatively inexpensive, either one. I don't have the exact numbers on hand, but I know what I pay every month, and it's not a huge amount.
It's like $13 or $18.
It's something very relatively simple.
With the cost savings, it would almost be worth us as a city, offering let's pay that for, if it gives us a benefit rate that, it gives us a benefit to move more quickly. The cost is negligible, but it's also something we could offer as an additional benefit.
I do have a
Citizens-
question, not sure if you're gonna have the answer. But as far as, for example, specialist medication, so like, is there were specific medications with our pool that were just not covered because of the brand and how expensive they are? Are there gonna be things of that nature that you're aware of that I can go ahead and get in
I can
front of?
specifically give you like specific drugs I'm aware of. This is what I know. Okay, when we go in and they underwrite these groups the way we do it, right? They're pulling information and they already know what medications. I have no idea
Right,
people are on. And so when they quote these deals, it's already pretty much, they already know.
they've already got it. Okay.
Right. But there are nuances just like anybody else's health plan.
Well, as I know, we have a
Uh,
couple of diabetics that their medications are pretty pricey.
Mhm.
And they were able to get through with our current carriers, and they have other programs that allow them to be able to get it at a much better rate. But that was kind of that was one of the other questions that was brought to me. I mean, currently I have specific medications too that can be costly.
Sure.
Okay, so Mary, if we had, but if we have a pool of budgeted healthcare money, right? Can we look at those on an individual case by case basis? You know, I don't know how the rest of council feels about this. I just feel like it's important that we have 20 something, what do we have employees?
Not even. But yes.
Okay, so we have 20 employees. If there's a specific case that we need to assist or adjust or whatever, as a council, I think we could be able to do that to take care of our employees. And we would have the funding to do it.
Yes.
You know
No,
what I mean? It's like-
I agree.
because
Wholeheartedly on it.
we're jeopardizing 19 for one,
Right.
right? And I'd rather address the one and somehow supplement that than and take the savings on the 19 that it's the same to them either way,
Right.
right?
Yeah. I agree. I just want to make sure the questions that were brought to me,
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
bringing them out to the floor, making sure everybody's
If
kind of.
there's, I mean, I don't want to, I'm kind of, my thing is, let me tell you from my end too. So when I go in and we do these the way we underwrite these, my rates are good for this period of time, right? And so when they go back in and when we redo everything, we don't have to redo anything. That's what I was telling y'all, we're good to go right now. It's not a big deal, so don't freak out if we have to go to a full one. It just is what it is. But what it does is they go back in and they rerun those reports, right? And so we got to be careful because the longer we wait, eventually somebody's going to get sick and end up in the hospital. It's not already on their reports. And then they're going to come back and they're going to pop us in the head about it.
Sure.
So that's my only fear because I don't want, and so that, from that perspective, I want to make sure everybody is aware of that.
Yeah.
Traditionally, I always tell people when we go to looking at these plans, I mean, I always get fearful when I'm taking on a new client because you don't really, the networks I'm familiar with, I use UHC on both ends. So the UHC Choice Plus network is great. In this area, I know I'm confident with it. Typically, call us if there's an issue with a drug.
Okay.
Like, because we're going to call a carrier. I mean, I've got a plumbing company over in Mineola that a lady was on so she got put on some sort of blood pressure medication that wasn't covered. Well, because it wasn't disclosed because she didn't have it before the plan went into place, we called, we got it covered. I'm not saying I can do that every time, but that's stuff that you have to do.
Right.
A lot of times.
So I'd recommend if we're gonna vote on it, that when you put that in there, you word it as to review any of those on a case by case basis.
I have one more question though.
Yes, sir.
There are no pre-existing condition
They're already there. They already know
exclusions,
about
right?
it.
No.
They already know about it. Yes, sir. There's no pre-ex. Not
Yeah,
correct.
make a motion.
You make it.
And there's
Yeah.
So
no
we
other
do need to
question.
make a motion to exit the pool.
Huh?
So if y'all are wanting to go ahead, the next step to process this is we've got to exit the pool itself. So we have to
But
give them
we
those
have
days.
to tell you to exit that.
So there has to be a motion to exit the pool and then a motion to,
Move forward.
I make a motion that we exit the pool.
Mary, there's no other questions.
No, those were the only questions that were brought to me. Some had concerns. There was, I know, I did have, reminding me, thank you, did have somebody ask if there is an HSA option. Could
You
we,
can definitely put an HSA option in there if someone wanted to look at an HSA.
yeah.
What is
It's
that?
not it's a high deductible health plan. So basically it gives a couple of things it does for you. It gives the insured the opportunity to invest into not invest, but put their money into an HSA account tax-free,
Okay.
right? And then, but like, so if it sets a $3,500 deductible HSA, the first $3,500, other than a well check that you get once a year, you pay 100% of out of pocket. And after that, traditionally, now they've got co-insurance on them. Back when they first started on, you paid 100% of everything. Now they have 70-30 and 80-20 co-insurance, like that. So,
Definitely helpful when you do have those higher deductibles.
And if you're young and healthy, it's
it's a good way to do it.
a good way to do it because your money carries over
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's some great ideas to do it. If you're in relatively good health and don't take any medicines any prescriptions every month and it's ongoing forever, then it's typically a really good way to do it.
Yeah, because in 4 or 5 years, if you can not necessarily max out, but you put your money in that HSA account tax-free, you'll have enough in there. Any out-of-pocket exposure, you're pretty much covered.
And so we could do an option to let you roll over because I previously had an HSA account, didn't roll over.
That was FSA.
Well, yeah, FSA, sorry.
don't
And then
roll
they
the
didn't,
FSAs,
yeah,
right.
so then there was.
Those are messy.
Those are in December. Everybody's buying cold medicine.
It was
The only thing
not a
I
fun
thought of that-
situation.
never mind, the only thing I thought FSA was good for childcare.
It
That was the best thing because you knew you were going to use it, you didn't lose it. So.
yeah.
There's no other
So-
concerns, council? Sorry, I had stopped you.
So I make a motion, we exit the pool with TML.
All right, so I got a motion to exit the TML pool.
CXHP.
Except the pool at the time we
Yeah.
This is the one we have now. We have to give them 30 days notice.
give notice, yeah. Give notice to exit the pool at the time we have the other one in place.
So-
I think we have to give them notice and it's 30 days.
Yeah, we give them a 30-day notice
Yeah.
to exit. And then do you want us to continue to work to make sure numbers match and then by our next meeting being comfortable with a 4/1 start date? Or are y'all set to roll with whatever we have here?
Okay,
Nothing.
we gotta finish this motion, then we'll go to that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a motion to exit the current pool. Do I hear you second? And I've got a second. All in favor? Then aye?
Yeah.
Greg Sprinkle.
Okay, so that motion passed. Now, continue on. You was wanting to know, do we want to jump in or wait till 4/1? I guess it has to be the beginning of each month.
Well, yeah, is it usually first start month? So we're still gonna have another council meeting this month.
Mhm.
That if we want to bring it back to check any revisions that we've worked on the next 2 weeks, where everybody's comfortable and happy, or how do you guys want to see that fit?
Is that gonna change anything?
I would like to move with it.
We can start on 3/1, right?
Yes.
4/1.
We won't,
3/1.
we won't be
3/1,
able to
no, we're
start
too late
3/1.
for 4/1.
Yeah, we're too late for 3/1.
Oh, yeah, because you got to cancel it.
Because I've got to leave, I've got to give a 30-day notice. And it's
We got to go till February. We got to go till March the 6th or 7th or whatever. We could carry over, could we not?
Oh. Let me, hang on. I hate to do this, but I'm in the middle of the
No, that's important.
I mean, because if we can,
We don't want to.
I don't want to have a
Yeah.
lapse in
Do
coverage,
you need
but
to verify real quick?
I kind of do.
Okay,
I can kind of.
go ahead. We'll hold while you verify that,
I
because
wanna
that's
verify
important.
that, because a lot of times traditionally with some of these carriers, if you're I know we do it all the time, someone's like say you see me a new hire 5 days late, I can get them out.
Yeah.
And you're in 5 days, so you
what
should
is
be able.
30
to-
days
Well,
from
but
today?
we also, if we started on 3/1, but we don't actually exit the pool until 3/7, we will actually be paying for the coverage through the 7th, right? With
That's something you
TML.
have to check with TML because they may try to charge you for the whole month. That's the whole.
Yeah,
Oh,
and 30 days from now, from today is March 7th.
Yeah.
Right.
We just
But I'm
don't want
trying
to
to figure
gap.
out
Yeah,
if
he's
you-
let him
if you
verify.
Give you an exception to cancel it.
Go ahead.
By
Jessica.
3/1?
Right.
Okay.
They should, but I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have that answer without calling.
They might charge us some portion.
A prorated fee.
I would get some kind of prorated amount. But we'll find out. You never know what they'll do, right? They're losing customers.
While he's thinking on that, you said you want to go ahead and move right now, which is fine, but we don't have numbers finalized. We want to make sure that our dental vision, all that lines up, and then look at the options of adding an HSA account.
I think the way we simplify that is we move on the health insurance now. And like they were talking about, we'll deal with it, with the other coverages on a case by case basis.
No.
But
Because everybody, as soon as we leave this pool, everybody loses their dental and
Loses it all.
vision that they have.
They
Right.
lose their life insurance, they
We-
lose everything.
So we have the coverage.
And y'all need to decide
And we
which
know,
coverage
and we
y'all want.
know that cost is not, the cost difference isn't gonna be a game changer. And so when I say deal with it on an individual basis,
That's what I'm recommending too, is it get, y'all letting me and him discuss, make sure numbers
But
match.
Do we have to, or can you work with him?
I mean, I can. I
We don't
feel
have,
like-
do we need to pick, or can we just delegate you to work with him to pick the plan?
that works best. I mean, that's if y'all give me the go ahead to do so. I mean,
Cause I don't know how this compares with what y'all have
so
right
they've got
now.
the blue column is what we currently have. If
Oh,
that
okay.
helps. And then
It
you've
just
got
doesn't have
option A,
the
B,
cost
and C.
down here at the bottom, which is about it's about, what was it, 2,300 a month?
The total was like 23. Yes. 30. Yes. So I can remember the out of pocket cost. The out of pocket for the full family was,
The difference on the coverage piece is gonna be whether or not TML will let us out on March the 7th and not charge us for the month of March all the way, because it's 30 days, right?
Mhm.
I feel certain that you guys would insure us beginning March 1st if we send you a check, right? They're gonna insure us
You can
March
have two
1st.
clauses. That's, I wouldn't do
That-
that. Here, can I make a suggestion now that I talked to the
Absolutely.
experts?
Sure.
Here's what I would do, and it doesn't help me any, I'm gonna put myself kind of out on a limb a little bit. I would get with TML tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, and I would find out what their rules are. If it's just like Blue Cross, like Amy just told me, and I'm just gonna get you in touch with her, and this will get a lot smoother on your end too.
yes.
But Blue Cross, we could get you out of tomorrow if we needed to for a 3-1. They're underwritten by Blue Cross. I don't know how TML works, right? I actually have an appointment with TML. I had a city that was with TML in service for years. So I can try to make a call. I don't use them much because they're just niche, obviously, for cities. But if they'll let you out, then and I don't know how y'all, and I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes when I say this, it's just my brain working. Why don't we make a motion to say, hey, if somehow this call, we can get out by 3-1, we'll start 3-1, but if we can't get out 3-1, we'll just start
Plan
4-1.
for one. And I'm
So,
good.
because I don't want.
That makes
I like
perfect sense.
that.
That makes
Okay.
perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it'll give us also an opportunity to get the dental and vision ironed out. We'll know good and well even if you go 3-1 before your next meeting, y'all all know, what the goes on. I just think that's the way.
I mean, and if you're looking at all these plans, all of them are cost savings. So just figuring out what's the best cost savings per what the coverage. compares.
If
does
we
it
go to
make sense-
4-1, they're going to re-pull everybody's stuff. So if something comes up, it could cause a little bit of an issue, but I don't see it causing. Just so everybody knows. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like,
Does it make sense to, since the 20 or so people are gonna be on one of these plans, to let you guys tell us which plan you wanna be on? All of them are cost savings. There's an $80 difference
That's
for
what I'm
us.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
When you do this, let Mary work
Run
with
with
them to set that up.
Run
We
with
don't need to be that detailed into it. I don't think,
I know.
if you want to, we can get on a call, or you can get on a call with Amy, or we can all three, so I can kind of pass it off to her. She keeps up with all this. She's the smart one. But we can find out if we're going to do it that way too. If you want to add an HSA plan,
Yeah.
you can at that point, and then we can re-rate it all together. It's not going to change the rates that much at this point, unless someone comes down with, stage 4 liver cancer or something crazy, then we'll have a problem, right?
I think-
Or it gets
I
done.
think right now everything's pretty status quo.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
aware of course.
but we can clean it up real easy
Yeah.
either way.
Hey, I mean, it's if y'all want, it depends on how much oversight y'all want. Y'all want to let me run with what we have here in front of us?
As long as you're comfortable and we're comfortable with the fact that the other employees are going to have a say in what that information is.
Yes, that's absolutely. That's where I'm looking at. I want to make sure that everybody's got the same coverage or better, and then protecting the city, meaning by giving us the cost savings that we have.
And then come to us on an individual basis about, once we learn
Oh,
what the
there's-
dental
yes.
and vision is, we'll make a decision about how we do that. But let's move forward with getting it done.
Yeah.
First by leaving TML
Mhm.
tomorrow, no later than tomorrow,
Mhm.
and finding out if we can get a 3-1 start date, and if not, make sure that what we do have goes through 4-1. Right.
Make sure we're covered. Yes, and I'll make some phone calls tomorrow.
Because
And
we don't
can
want to
get
go, we
together.
don't want to go from March 7 to April 1
Oh, no, I don't
without
know.
coverage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That works for me.
Anybody wanna put that in a motion?
That's right. I move that we delegate the choice of the health insurance plan from one of these that we have to Mary. And that we do that in a way that if possible, we switch on March 1st. And if the exit from TML prevents us from doing that, then we make that switch effective April 1st.
I'll second that.
Oh, whoa. Who gets it this time?
You got it. All right, I got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Greg Sprinkle.
Me too.
Cecilia Irvin?
Motion passed.
Really long here. All right.
Okay, we'll move on from
Thank you
there.
for coming.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
I
thank
need
you.
to get your phone number.
Let me
I wanna make
step
sure
out
we
here.
get on top of this really quick.
Yep, go ahead. Hold on.
He was planning on taking Friday off.
Who's taking Friday off?
He was. So, Cecilia, can I borrow your pen?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I think I have it. Okay. I'll. Yeah. Wait. There. Y'all can do.
And I'll get you an email in the morning. I'll copy Amy on it and we'll all get together.
I love it.
Thank y'all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving on. Number 8, legacy project progress. This starts with A, discussion and possible action of date from Council Place 1. He's not here. I will give one quick update. For Arrowhead Waterline, we have a meeting Monday at 6:30 to try to continue moving on that. I didn't receive any updates on the speed limit change for 276 or the lighting or the new post office. B, discussion and possible action on update from Council Place 2.
So on the Naves Lane, that kind of ties into the drainage issues that I've been pursuing. And I did go on the Texas Water Development Board. They have a spot on their website where you report flooding issues, describe those issues, what you think causes it, the frequency and the severity and so forth. And there was nothing showing in West Washington. So I described 2 areas. The area which is really outside, it's behind Circle K, because it does impact that lift station 19, and it will go underwater. And then I described Rabbit Cove, the drainage problems there really from the wastewater plant to the end of Rabbit Cove. And that will go into their regional planning discussion. And if we can get into their regional plan, then we can get, we can probably work the drainage down Maze Lane, route it down Rabbit Cove, do what we need to do to get the drainage fixed. Then we can approach the widening. Okay. Radio read, there's really not much else to do for that other than find a way to get a grant. That means working on our audit. Okay. I did give Mary the name of an additional CPA that I had been in touch with about auditing, homeowners association. But it's nothing more than a name. I don't have a relationship with the guy. But he does come from
I have a question on the meter thing.
Yeah.
Has that already been decided amongst the council that that's something that needs to happen?
Actually, no, we haven't decided because we gotta figure out how to fund it.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, I'm just curious about the
What we-
reason that I need information if I'm gonna be voting on it. Because I've never seen anything that says why we think it's a concern. I don't see any. No, I need information.
Without having a big discussion, it will free 1 man year of labor every year. That, to begin with, and if it helps us cut our water loss, that puts us closer to being in compliance with the Texas ECEQ requirement. There are acceptable water loss amounts. Like, yeah, there's a problem there.
So is that something that they brought to the city saying that we have issues, or is that just something you've seen?
That's something that was in our comprehensive plan. And recently I've been going through, our rates and productions and so forth. And with a couple of small adjustments, I think we are losing probably at least 1/3 of the water that we produce. Either through passing it through meters without filling it or through leaks. And these new meters will help identify those leaks much more quickly. And it will also cut way back on the water that goes through the meter. So there's a tremendous savings. But it's an expensive project.
Yeah.
Right now, there is a grant that we, Mary and I sat through a couple of Zoom meetings with, that was the Water Development Board, right? And then with, was this Texas?
There was another third party about the grant itself. No, the one about the audits.
If we can get our audit problems, if we can get our audits completed, we would score very well on grants to pay for 100% of those. And if we don't get that, then it becomes a math problem. Then we look at what it's cost by the meters and what it's saving.
But isn't if we're gonna end up paying for it, doesn't it have to be bid out? Because it's over $100,000.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we'd have to get other people involved.
But so we know that the total cost of those things is probably going to be, say, $650,000 plus. So definitely it's got to go out to bid. But at this point we have a feel for the neighborhood of what it's going to cost.
So what we're hoping then is that that's gonna show, say at my house, if I've got a leak somewhere that I don't know about, it's gonna show up on that.
Probably not going to. What it will show, it's not going to show a leak inside your house,
No, I understand.
but it very well, it will guide the guys to find that leak upstream from your house. Because the way the things work, it's a sonic,
It's
Right.
acoustic, leak detection.
yeah, it's an acoustic, and
Listens
so
for it.
it can tell them somehow it's louder at this meter than it is at that meter, so it's going to be closer to this one. Right? And they can go, that'll get them closer to the leaks much faster than going out and digging around until they find it. And there are bigger meters that I don't know. I suppose they put those on the trunk lines to see if there's a loss somewhere, a big line. It makes sense. good. So I don't know, it's magic how it finds the leak, but it does.
So just curiosity questions, like when y'all go, when the fire department goes through and they let all that water out when they're cleaning out the fire hydrants.
That's the Public Works does that. Fire department doesn't do that.
Oh, okay. So then does Public Works know how much water is being let out when they do that? Is there a
We
way
don't.
of covering what that, because I know they do that.
Yeah, there's
Fairly
a
often.
certain amount that's unbilled that Mary was telling me about, that, I don't think the water that's used in the park is metered. Is the water metered here? So, but we're talking about 94, we produce 94 million gallons a year. And if we're losing a third of that, so we're losing 30 million gallons a year. They're not flushing that through fire hydrants.
Well, it's not bubbling up anywhere around the area either.
Yeah, yeah, so I think part of what the new meters bring that we don't have today is just the accuracy of the amount. So, the current meters that we have, click at gallons, right? Just on a single gallon. And the new meters click at one tenth of a gallon. So if you think that we have 1,200 houses, or say we have 1,200 meters, right? And those 1,200 meters are stopping before they get to that 1 gallon every day, or when we invoice or when we bill. That's 1,200 gallons a day that they're not invoicing for just because we rounded down instead of up. And it doesn't round up, it waits till it gets to that next level. So there's 1,200 gallons every day that doesn't get billed because it doesn't actually flow through the meter. It flows through the meter, but it doesn't flow and get counted.
But I'm not buying it because the next time they read the meter, you're gonna catch that portion of it.
No, the meter, there's a sensitivity to the meter,
All right.
just like anything else. But if it's under 1 gallon per minute, or whatever that is, you just can't really sense it.
But if you think about,
Okay.
if
Just
you
like
think
any other.
about the meters that we have now, they're mechanical, right? There's something in there that as the water flows through, it spins and moves this meter.
Mhm.
Well, how long will things been in the ground?
And it's 50 years old.
Yeah, they're 20, 30, 40 years old, and they get that scale and mineral deposit on whatever's in their spin in their little fan. And it's just not gonna measure it right. And so it's a substantial cost. I worry, I've put together some stuff that I'm ready to talk about anytime we need to. I don't think our water system, I don't think it's paying for itself. I think we need to know a lot more about it. I could be wrong on whether it's paying for itself, but I want to see, I want to know. If it's not paying for itself, then we need to figure out, we have to approve that.
And the rates have to be correct as well,
Yeah.
which, the rate, I don't know how long it's been since there's been a rate study or how they justified what numbers they're throwing out there. Because I've had several, they're non-residents, but there are people that, that live outside the city limits that pay a higher rate, and the number was a dartboard throw. It wasn't something that was justified or documented or discussed. It was just, nah, let's charge this. And that's not really fair to the people that we're charging outside the city. Granted, we lose some tax revenue because they don't live in the city, property tax revenue because they don't live in the city. But do we lose $50 or $60 a month in property tax revenue, which is what we charge different for out of the city rates? Do we have different rates for commercial than we do for residential? All of those things that when you look at the numbers that are in the budget, those numbers that are in the budget show all of this money in the water department, but not all of that money really belongs or comes from the water department. It goes in there because it's billed on the water bill. So that's not necessarily how the intention of the budgeting and funding should be done. But I think that's the way it was done in QuickBooks 20 years ago or 30 years ago or whatever. And so it just carried through. And now that we have a better software system and a better accounting process, we need to go in and correct some of those things that were done in the past, maybe not 100% of the way they should have been done. And so I think we're looking at all of those things. And I know Ramsey pointed out that we have 4 people for a whole week every month to go read meters. That's all they do. 4 people for a whole week. They go read meters. And that's because we don't have any other way to do it than have somebody go and go down there and clean it off and call that number out to the person sitting in the truck driving with them. And that, to me, that's an enormous amount of labor cost that we could better use somewhere else in the city.
So what would it go to if we went with these new meters? 2 guys for a week?
1 person, 1 day,
Yeah, 1 person, 1 day.
a month.
So he's gonna drive and it's gonna automatically read and,
All collected.
If we go with the full AMI system, it's gonna bounce off in tons.
Which means no guys.
Which means no guys. If we go with the drive-by radio reads, they would literally just drive and catch a 1 mile radius and then.
And if they drive, it
And they-
sends it, it don't, it reads it electronically.
And the price that we're talking about, $650 or so, is that for the full AMI system?
well, if we can get a grant that pays for all that, it would sit
That would really be
easier.
cool,
It
wouldn't
really sit easier on me because I can think of other things we really need around here.
We don't disagree with, we do not disagree with you that there are other things that money could be spent on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we get the return on investment with patching streets and whatever as a first choice, which we also have in the comprehensive plan. And since you haven't had a chance to get a copy of the comprehensive plan and read it and kind of look at, there are sections of it. The water was one of the things in the comprehensive plan, and it was one of the things that we saw could have a very immediate impact as opposed to the time it's going to take to do some of the streets and do some of the drainage and do some of those things that fall along, because some of that water is like the Arrowhead group. That group would be primed to get all new meters at the same time we're putting in all the, this water line and doing all this work. They would be a prime candidate for us to be able to do that. And there are grants specifically for water meters. It's hard to find grants that are specifically for street repair.
Right.
There are 2 other points that I'd like to make on that. One is the additional money that's in the water department. We can't go spend that on streets. It has to stay in the water department. So, and the other is, I think the top 5 projects in the next 5 years, top plan, all of them for water. And so, that satisfies the need to follow that comp plan.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't disagree with you that it's expensive, and we don't disagree with you that the streets and drainage also need attention and money and grants and those things. I think we've just landed on something that can have a big impact and have a quick impact, and can also help us straighten out some of the things that we've been challenged with from the past accounting process.
And the studies that you're talking about are important.
The rate studies are very important.
Yeah.
I would like to, if we can, let's schedule something so we can go through this partial, this Ramsey study that I put together on the water. And then let's think about moving that forward, getting a professional study.
Rate study.
What do you think, Larry? Take an hour to go through.
How long would it take us to come up with an hour?
Yeah, I think.
Outside of the small one.
Get it on an agenda and let's do it.
Let's do that. Let's put that,
So under your discussion and or possible action, you have the ability
right?
to
So
schedule.
when would be a good time? When do we have,
We have a meeting next Tuesday, right?
yeah,
Can't go on that
it's too late to go on that.
No, I know it's too late to go on that one.
And
But
that would probably too busy as well.
Yeah.
Yes, so we will have one on the 24th. I'm going to follow up to see if we're gonna have our audit report. He told me February, one of the February meetings. If that ends up being on there, I don't know, we wanna add 2-3 hefty things. So I'm pretty sure that audit report, so we can then get maybe take some time.
Or to keep this one by itself. You can
I like-
schedule an hour and a half somewhere else.
We could do
Yeah.
it. We'll have, we got the 10th, we got the 24th, and then you were looking at March.
You can do 17th, right?
I mean,
17th.
we can, if we wanna maintain doing weekly,
I can't do the 17th,
Can do
but
I can't do the 17th either, sorry.
Okay.
That's 3 of us.
Yeah,
but any other day,
Um,
what
20th?
else?
20th Friday?
Friday?
Don't.
No.
Ah,
They'll miss me at dinner.
I mean, we can tentatively plan for the 24th, and then if the audit report comes first, we'll do that, and then, or we can wait till the next regular session and plan that workshop then. I mean, there's always that potential, we may have another special session to get in.
What day is it,
I will
21st?
tell you that
24th is a Tuesday.
in order to have anything for planning and zoning, I would have already had it, so the fifth is available, which is Thursday.
That's fine with me.
Okay, yeah, that,
Okay.
everybody good for March 5th?
Special session,
I move that we have a workshop to discuss water department
special session.
production.
Workshop, you can't make any action on. You wanna have a special session. Or if we wanna make action or do anything with it, you have the ability to do so.
Then I move that we have a special session to discuss, the water department plan, the production, rate structure.
6:30.
Because
I second.
Now, so repeat what all you were saying, to do just water department structure and the rate structure?
it's really the rate structure.
Okay.
You can't remember who you.
All right, so I got a motion
Got a second?
and a second. All in favor?
Greg Sprinkle.
James?
Cecilia Irvin.
Did you have any other updates on yours? Pretty much just updated on insurance.
That's it, short-term rental collections, we just need to decide whether we're gonna use that or software, or not.
Can we put that on the agenda and vote on it?
It's
We
only
can,
1,500
and
bucks a year,
I
right?
will also go back through Monday and pull all of them and see if there's a difference, which will give us an idea.
We can do
It's
that
only
now. We don't have to put
$1,500
it
a
on the
month,
agenda.
a year, right?
It doesn't have to be on the agenda?
Yeah, 'cause we got a
It's on the agenda here, but do we have enough information or do we need
Yeah,
to?
do we want to wait until
I
you
mean,
give
wait.
us the,
I mean, pulling it Monday is gonna give me a better idea how long it'll take, because the last time was the first time. And it'll tell us if I find anything different.
okay, so let's wait until you, and let's get it on the next, let's talk about it on the next one. Where
We're
we
on that one,
let's just-
see an update coming from.
do it or put it to bed.
Yes,
Right.
because that gentleman is also emailing me asking, so it would be good to be able to tell him something.
Sure, it's fair.
That's it
Right,
for me.
we'll move on from there. C, discussion and possible action on update from council place 3.
Park upgrades, I'm getting a packet tonight to do an EDC request. Right?
Yes.
I am, since they turned them in last week, I talked to Donna and did that. We have pricing on everything, and we have, I need to have a meeting with the fan club and vote on the actual equipment that we want to purchase. And we do have prices and bids, written bids now. They're all under any kind of amount we would need to get bids on.
Okay.
As far as I know, they're all under 10 grand each. So, and then on the audit progress, where are we, Mary?
We should have an audit report this month. I'm working with the CPA, but like you mentioned, I'm also looking for other options for a CPA. I reached out to our former CPA, like before this firm, and she is way too busy to be able to take us on again. So I'm really looking for somebody that's got some good experience in working with cities and information. So I'm going to reach out to his lead, and then I'm going to still currently work with what we have. So we have, she's needing a bunch of different documents that have never really been needed before. So locating those have been a.
So I was reading some stuff about audits, and apparently there are different levels of audits that are accepted.
Yes.
I assume that on our older years, we're going for the lower level. If we're not, I think we should be, because it requires less time and less detail.
So with the new law that went into place September, there was a section where they said, on a technical standpoint, you could do your audit in-house. Me and Lee have discussed that we don't think that is probably the best option for us.
I don't think
There's
that's a
not
good.
much
I don't
staff.
think that's a good option just because it doesn't look good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't look good. It can be
Visibility
done
of it's
to
not good.
satisfy the state if we have somebody else, but it would have to be somebody else that knows finances that's not been doing the finances to make it look
Yeah,
somewhat
I
decent.
don't like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, that I didn't even, whenever that was spoke on and people were interested when the seminar I was in, I was like, I don't want to even touch that. I'd rather have 2 different sets of professionals look at it to make sure we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. If that's what you're meaning by lower levels.
No, it's not. Both of these levels are done by CPA. And I think one is, maybe it was called a technical audit. And that's where all the transactions are tied to council motions, so on and so forth. And I think the other level is just financial. I really don't know enough to talk in detail about it, but I know that I saw that there are different levels, and if you opt for the less detailed level, it will still work with a lot of grant applications. It takes less time. So if there's something like that we can do, particularly, on 22, 23.
Yeah.
I got this note. I can reach out to Roger because I need to follow up with him anyway and see if he's got more knowledge and background on that. So we're seeing, if I'm thinking right now, not my profession, I'm going to be quite honest. I'm not a CPA, but when we have the first CPA go through and clean up our books, that would kind of give me the idea that that's a technical audit and it's prepared for the auditing firm to then go through and do the rest of it. But I can see where his take is on it and kind of go from there.
Okay. Whatever qualifies us for being able to turn in something with a grant application, because we can't even turn them in if we don't have a document to turn in. We can't even turn in that grant application without it.
Correct.
And so,
yeah.
And which is why I've been pushing you to push them to figure out what it's like. We want to be able to do things, but we need to be able to have the documentation to do it. So, what can we do to help you get the next step? And I believe that we're making a step forward in that direction shortly.
Mm-hmm.
If everything works out, on our other project, that should bring in some more knowledge.
Yes. Only other thing I can think of is if anybody has any feelers out on other CPAs.
I do.
Lee did give me a background, somebody for another city she's
That's what
worked
we
with
should do.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to take
Somebody
everything we have and give it to
Yeah,
everybody.
y'all
Give it to
just
5 other people.
give me your people that you have heard of, think of, and know of. I will start reaching out, getting some costs, and even if they're time. I mean, right now we're at I want to make sure that they've done something for a government entity. That's going to be my only main requirement in a small government entity at that.
Well, my question is, it sounds like you've referenced several times cleaning things up. Once you've gone through this process of this year, shouldn't that make the rest of the years go better? Or is
In
it still
theory.
going to be a catch up because
In theory, that yes. So what we're doing now is they are in the process of cleaning up our QuickBooks from 22-23. We still use QuickBooks up until 23-24. So that's going to be the hardest one, is getting those two cleaned up, ready to roll, and then until we move into our new software, because our auditing firm can work with our software, and they said that that'll be a little bit more streamlined, be a lot smoother. But until we can get QuickBooks fully cleaned up, and right now it's a time factor. It's whether or not the CPA has enough time to dedicate solely to doing this, and they don't. They told me that they don't have a ton of time. They're going to be working kind of in the pockets of their time to do it before they can even get it in front of the auditors that are actually going to be able to dedicate their time and work on it. So we've got several.
They were not a priority.
Yeah, it's the urgency. I mean, the
It's-
problem
yes,
is, the problem is that, okay, how do we get off of their back burner and onto somebody's front burner?
I think you find somebody else. That's how you find it.
Yeah,
Do
you
it.
know, and
I mean,
this is not,
yes.
this is just,
No, yeah,
this is just these firms, you know, we accept what they give us,
Mhm.
and we need to stop that. We need to stop accepting what they give us.
This is the thing, man. We can't make incompetent people competent. It's not going to happen. So you got to find somebody else.
Ouch. You know, we can't make something that's not important to them important. With a big, you know, they are businesses that run on, you know, cash, and those businesses, you know, we're probably not the most expensive, the most profitable account they have.
So be it. Let them go.
Exactly, but we have to go find one we are, or one
and that has time, that's willing to take on somebody new, and that's where I'm running into a lot of is, and other cities are too. That's why the new law came in place to where, especially smaller cities that can't quite afford a $20,000 audit every year, that they are allowing them to do an in-house audit. That's kind of was the state saying, hey, we will lend the help out to you.
That's a great job, state. Give it right back to us. Give it right back to the people that are struggling to do it today. Let's give it right back to them.
And so auditing firms are not even, they're struggling to even have enough people to do it. So it's a roller coaster that everybody is in, and it's not just West Tawakoni.
I think all of us should look for other CPAs. Maybe we'll get some.
Yeah,
How much are we spending, Mary? How much are we spending for audits?
Well, we haven't paid for a complete audit in a couple of years, so I don't even know that the current rate we have is the current quote we have.
How much do we budget for?
It's like 12 or 18,000.
Okay.
If I'm thinking correctly without going back and looking.
That is
Because that's more important,
Yes,
honestly,
yeah.
than what we're paying. It's what we budgeted. Okay.
Okay,
keep going.
moving on.
Elementary school, you said we have a meeting Monday at 2 p.m.
Yes, sir.
with the QISD to talk about if they ever plan on expanding another school, we would like it to be in West Tawakoni.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. The discussion and possible action on updates from council place 4.
The connection of Highway 276 to Rabbit Cove. You had a meeting. It seems that county is not going to do it. I would suggest that we get a bid from Jacob and Martin for a study, just a bid,
What kind of study?
study to connect
Oh, okay, to have
Highway
it all.
276 to Rabbit Cove Road.
Okay.
Just get a number. So let's see how that
Can
looks.
we expand on that a little bit?
Yeah.
Not just connecting 276 to Rabbit Cove Road, but ask the question differently of them. Options for additional access to there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm afraid we're pigeonholing and saying, we got to put a road here. And I'd
No,
much
we're not
rather,
saying
you know,
that.
but I'm afraid
Yeah.
that's, if we go ask them for a quote on that, I'd much rather hear from them.
She knows
Here's
what
the
projects
problem.
we're looking at.
Here's the problem. Give us some solutions.
Yeah, no, essentially that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're not saying you go this way or take this, up on road or anything like that. So that's
Okay.
that. So get a number.
I drove down Rabbit Cove yesterday.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of pieces of property for sale down there that look like they would be right place to go through. They're decent sized properties, I assume. There's a big fenced in area.
Shannon's over there
Shannon knows
going,
something.
yeah, you don't know what's coming in there.
Yeah,
I don't know
don't.
what's coming in
I
there either, but I will say I have talked to some people that are looking at purchasing some of those properties, and I have some ideas, but until they do that, but there's a couple of different routes that I've looked at that I think would work. If someone were to purchase it, the thing is, we would have to, there's a couple properties in between, so we would have to get easements for roads. They would be county properties on top of that, so we would have to find out how that works. One of the particular roads I looked at to tie into one of these properties is a private drive, so we would have to see if we could obtain that and upgrade it because it is rock. We would need it to go to concrete because that's what we would require. And the developments, obviously, we would want to tie in, so there would be incentives we would need to offer them
Yes.
to make it worth their while. But there are a couple that I have been contacted on, people looking to purchase, asking questions, and I've looked at it and looked at where they fall and where roads could be
Awesome.
put in.
Progress.
Okay, so that's that. Street lights, I talked to the engineer today. It seems that there are about 35 poles on which they can put the street lights on, 35. But he doesn't have a breakdown of how many of them are on 276 Base Lane or Rabbit Cove, but it's total of 35. I asked him to break it down, but then the cost is like this. It's about, there's no charge for the lights, by the way, no charge for installing it or cost of that, none of that. There's a $75 a day fee to come to the site. And in one day, they do about 5 lights. So you in 7-8 days, it'll be done. So that you're talking
$5,000.
$500-$600 to just do the lights, and then it's $10.70 per month per light. So if we do 30 of them, so you're talking $300 a month. It's not a huge amount of money, but it can be done pretty quickly and easily. So he's going to give me a breakdown after this meeting. I told him we have a meeting today. So tomorrow I call him and say, hey, just go ahead, give me the breakdowns, give us a proposal to do it, and that's the next step.
Okay.
It's not a lot of money anyways.
So to make sure I have, it's $75 a day for the installation, and they'll do about 5 lights a day, correct?
5 lights a day, $75 per day.
Okay, and then $10.70 per light per month.
Per month.
Okay.
So that's
And those
that.
are street light, full like actual street lights, or they
Those are the
overboard street
actual,
lights?
Cobra lights like that.
Okay,
Yeah, not the security lights.
okay.
That's not bad at all. $375 a month for the lights.
Okay.
Pay $500, pay out of pocket $525 if it takes 7 days. Call it 8. It's $600, and then $3,500 and $375 a month.
Yeah.
Where can that money come from? I'm not asking you to tell me that granted, it's got to come from the budget, but what part of the budget can it come from, and where can we pull it from to make that work?
So that's what we would look at next, when it comes back with that.
That would be, I think that's
Then
gonna
we
be a
can go back
conversation on
and
the
look at
budget
it.
workshop,
Okay,
especially with the long-term cost.
City Hall, I think we gotta have that meeting with the other city.
yep, and I've reached out to them, waiting on a response.
I don't have anything else.
All right, moving on from there, E, discussion and or possible action on updates from Council Place 5, community outreach.
Okay, so Mary and I met yesterday, and she's already putting out a monthly newsletter, so she's already gotten it started. But what we were talking about yesterday was whether we want to just make it like a link on our website, or if we want to do a blast out where people would get emails or text. Text is probably more realistic as what people would look at. So that would be something we need to look at and talk about. I've talked with several people within the city. They're really excited about the news being out there. Although our city website, I did look at a little more detailed today, provides a lot of information as far as our meetings and stuff that goes on here. But as far as community, you know, highlighting the park is going on, you know, highlighting that one month, or highlighting, you know, the library and what they've got going, or something like that. I think that's important, and people need to know when there's opportunities for them to volunteer and help, you know, if we could get it out. And so when I was at the library today, I was like, what have you got going on in March? Because people are going to have to start looking a month ahead. They're not going to say, well, next week we're going to be doing this. But if we do a monthly news, then people need to know that next month, you know, what's going to be coming up. And spring's coming, people get active. There's a lot of things that'll be coming up. So we need to decide, because there's some information I'll send you that I have found that tells if you're going to do the blast, you know, where people get text or emails, you know, the process that you have to go through as a city and that sort of thing. Is that something I need to send to you also?
Yeah, just copy me in it when you're sending it to her.
Okay.
That stops her.
And then we need to look at,
Forward, backward to me.
on these blasts on what kind of cost associations that would be.
Yes,
I mean, I think it's a great idea.
I agree, especially if we could actually put something neat together to.
Yeah, 'cause
highlight all
we
the
have our
things.
newsletter. Still it's very very green process right now, but we are working to at least highlight things that are going on within City Hall, and that's something that's been helpful. But to really reach out and grab things going on in the community is going to be a big. I think it's going to be a big win.
Does our hosting service offer, like email blast,
Those are what?
the hosting service? For the
They offer a ton of things. I can get with them and see what they have.
Sure.
And they all come
I
with that
understand.
pretty dollar figure. But I can get with them and ask, because I've seen other cities that use the same Civic Plus, that they have different little things as well. So different modules in them. I'll just have to get with them.
Yeah,
and see what
because does the iris notification always have to be that there's a water main break?
No, it doesn't.
Can we say there's a, you know, can we say there's a hot dog thing in the
Absolutely.
library?
But I think it's become so standard in everybody's brain that it's an emergency alert system.
That makes sense.
That they are going to see it, and once they start getting, hey, don't forget Easter egg hunts here, then they're going to get. I've had phone calls like, why would you do that?
That's a fair point. Well, when we changed the trash service, we sent it out at 5 a.m. and it was,
Yeah, they weren't happy
okay.
about
yeah,
that.
they were not happy about that.
At our HOA, it has an email blast thing. So you just fill this thing out, and it can be, you can put all sorts of graphics in it, really cool stuff, and boom, it goes out, and it, to me, that reaches out to people rather than waiting for them to come to the site.
Right.
And so I think
And that's what we were looking at, is how to get to people. And that's where we talked about text and email, because a lot of people are going to look at their phones. They're going to see that text message and click on that link and open it up.
Yeah,
Versus
I don't
going
read
to
half
the
the
email with
emails I
10,000
get.
emails.
I don't read half the emails I get, but I open I at least read the first 2 lines
Yeah.
of every text.
Yeah.
Before I delete you, I read the first 2 lines of the text.
Fair enough. Good to know. Good to know.
Did you have a second one you want to add, or are you still thinking on it? Or?
The only thing that's going through my brain right now is because I am on P&Z. And so the thing I keep thinking about is, as we're developing this downtown district here on 276, the signage. And we're going to check to see if the ones that we've set up, you know, the new ones, because we haven't seen it yet, the final, if that includes signage issues as far as signs that are going to be on buildings, or signs that are going to be, you know, size-wise. What can people do? Because I think that's important. And that could be a P&Z thing coming to us later. I don't know if that would be a legacy project, but that's the only other thing that's been in my brain.
So are you looking at just all the signs up and down 276 that you want to look at?
especially upcoming stuff, new things that are coming in, or,
Such as new potential billboards.
I
Or
mean,
even
and-
just
and
signs on the
business,
front of
like
the
in the front,
business.
your business frontage. I mean, kind of how does that look?
I mean, we don't want to be Las Vegas here, you know?
We don't want to be known as the city of billboards.
No, we
We have
don't.
an ordinance, right?
Yes.
We do.
Is it
And
strong
we
enough?
need to check that.
Let's check that.
You want to put that on there to work with checking that ordinance and getting it in front of us and helping us look at ideas?
Yeah,
on what
especially on the
needs to be
sign thing, because I
updated.
would love for us to have a lot more control over the signage that's allowed.
So we want to have that as a legacy project for her.
Yes.
Okay.
You're good with that?
What do we want to call that? So I can put that in.
You want to continue Monday?
Signage ordinance.
Yeah.
You just making a change.
Yeah, sign order.
Perfect. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Move on from there. Number 9, citizens input, 3 minutes, non-related agenda items. Anybody out there?
Cecilia's on this over here now, so we don't have
Anybody
it.
want to call in?
She can
Yeah.
still do
Don't do that.
citizen input though.
She absolutely could.
Yes. I have nothing there, so take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion and a second.
Who was second? Ramsey?
All in favor?
Ramsey Lindsay.
Greg Sprinkle.
James Shepherd.
Cecilia Irvin.
Motion passed. We are adjourned at 7:46.